from a picture-perfect life in San Diego. I want your present. No, my pumpkin. No, it's mine. Matt and I first met in college, and I fell head over heel for this man, to a tearful Instagram goodbye. Imani's story went from empowerment to embarrassment fast. Before the cameras, the drama and the tears, Imani's life looked perfect, but every downfall starts somewhere. Before reality TV fame, Imani lived a life that seemed picture perfect. She was born to a Tunisian father and an American mother, growing up between two worlds. Her family moved around a lot when she was young, but she always called California home. Imani often said her mixed background gave her a double lens on life, one that taught her to balance tradition with ambition. And this is my amazing, sexy, charming, mysterious, amazing husband, Matt. And together we live in San Diego, California. From a young age, she loved to learn. After finishing high school in San Diego, she went on to study business and computer science at university. She wasn't just smart, she was driven. By her mids, she was already making waves in tech sales, working her way up in competitive environments where few women thrived. As a female, I can only be like a teacher or a stay-at-home wife, and I was very ambitious. So I was years old when I left my country. Her big break came when she landed a consulting role for Oracle. Imani became known for her sharp presentation skills and her ability to close massive deals. Within a few years, she was earning a figure monthly salary, a dream for many. But she wasn't just chasing money. She was chasing stability and independence. She often said that financial security was her armor, something she had built to protect herself from ever feeling powerless. Matt and I first met in college, and I fell head over heel for this man. It's simple, but it's true. Every girl wants a guy. By her early yes, Imani had it all, or so it looked. She owned a sleek home in San Diego, drove a luxury SUV, and enjoyed weekends at beachside cafes. Around that time, she met Matt, an electrical engineer, who shared her love for science and adventure. They connected instantly. Friends described them as the kind of couple that finished each other's sentences. I'm a very, supportive person. I got to grumpus. Hi, mommy. You look so cute. Can I get a hug? It took us a long time. A few years into their relationship, they got married and soon welcomed two children. Matt later decided to leave his engineering job to focus on being a stay-at-home dad, while Imani continued her fast-paced career. Their roles reversed, but they seemed to make it work. Imani loved the stability, and Matt seemed comfortable supporting her ambitions on social media. They looked like the perfect modern family, happy, stylish, and successful. She's just a mini-me. Let's get that straight. Look. Hey, Sarah, you cheater. Sarah is so sweet, has the purest heart, and she's just so affectionate. But behind the polished posts, there was curiosity brewing. Imani had started exploring her sexuality more openly, describing herself as bisexual. She and Matt began having deeper talks about what love and partnership really meant to them. These conversations led them somewhere unexpected onto reality TV. Before joining Day Fiancé, Imani and Matt were featured on Netflix's The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On. The show was supposed to test couples on whether They were ready for marriage, but in their case, they had a twist. They were already married. They came on the show to discuss opening their marriage, something that immediately caught viewers' attention. First met in college, and I fell head over heel for this man. It's simple, but it's true. Every girl wants a guy who makes her laugh, and he's very selfless, very loving. He has such a good heart. However, unlike many other couples on the show, Imani and Matt didn't seem to have wild fights or emotional breakdowns. They looked calm and logical, maybe too calm for reality TV. When they talked about exploring with others, it felt more like a business deal than a love story. Fans noticed, while some found them intriguing, others called them boring or inauthentic. After the season ended, they faded from public attention, but not for long. He's amazing. I love being a mom, but I'm a boss babe, and babe stands for boss ass _ energy. I grew up in Tunisia. A few months later, Imani and Matt made headlines again when TLC announced them as part of Day Fiancé season. This time, they weren't just a couple, they were a throuple. TLC introduced them as the show's first official three-person relationship storyline. Their plan was to bring Imani and Matt's new partner, Annie, from Mexico to the U.S. on AK visa. I've been a really bad nurse. Can you feel my heart beating so fast? Very fast. I am hot. I don't know for what, but I need help, please. The catch: to make it happen legally, one of them had to marry Annie. That meant Imani and Matt would first have to divorce so that one could tie the knot with Annie to secure her visa. The idea was that once Annie got her green card, they would all remarry and live together again. It was bold, strange, and controversial, and it instantly became one of the most talked about storylines in the franchise's history. A vacation to Mexico changed everything. One nightclub, one dancer, one wild idea. What could possibly go wrong? Imani and Matt's journey with Annie started long before the cameras rolled. About a year before filming, the couple took a vacation to Tijuana. That's where they met Annie, a charismatic, exotic dancer from Mexico with a quick smile and a wild sense of humor. According to Imani, she was the one who made the first move. We have a girlfriend. Her name is Uni, and she lives in Mexico. We're a throuple. A throuple is a three-people relationship. You're dating that person, so you're emotionally involved. One night at a nightclub, she struck up a conversation with Annie after a dance performance. What started as playful flirting turned into something more. Imani said she felt an instant connection. She introduced Annie to Matt the next day, and to everyone's surprise, Matt didn't object. It's very sexualized. A lot of people assume it's just a hookup, but it's actually a long-term commitment, just like any other two-person relationship. We're missing our better half. Over the next few months, the trio spent more time together. Imani later said she saw it as a chance to explore her sexuality and to see if a throuple could really work. She positioned herself as the alpha, the decision maker, the one in control. Matt took a quieter role, often deferring to her. Annie, on the other hand, was warm and affectionate, but also seemed unsure about where she truly fit. Having a long-distance relationship is hard because you can't have that physical touch and interaction together. So we try to keep it spicy and interesting. How long have you been hot for? I don't know. When filming began, it didn't take long. 4 cracks to show. The throuple dynamic was messy. Imani treated the relationship like a social experiment, while Annie seemed to crave genuine love and stability. Matt was caught in the middle, torn between supporting his wife's ideas and protecting Annie's feelings. That's bisexual. I don't like labels. It just means I love all type of humans. In the beginning, I would say that I was a little vulnerable to think that maybe there was something that I wasn't able to fulfill for her. The more we talked about it, the more we opened up to the idea together. Fans immediately took sides online. Some accused Imani of using Annie for clout, and content pointing out that her Instagram followers had doubled since filming began. Others said Annie was being used for free childcare, since she often watched the kids while Imani worked and Matt filmed confessionals. Viewers described Imani as controlling, cold, and calculating. Then came the most shocking twist, the visa plan. To make Annie's move to the U.S. possible, Imani and Matt followed through with their divorce. On camera, they staged a somber courthouse signing, promising it was just paperwork. A few episodes later, Matt proposed to Annie with a modest ring, while Imani watched with a forced smile, together and just continuing to get to know each other. Like, really, it was like this isn't just some hookup. Like, feelings started to develop really quick. She's funny, caring. The plan was simple in theory, but outrageous in practice. Get Annie's visa approved, let her move in with them, and then remarry once the visa process was complete. But fans saw right through it. Social media lit up with accusations of visa fraud and exploitation. Immigration lawyers even weighed in online, saying the storyline looked legally questionable at best. Be like the exact match together. She motivates us. She pushes us. It's really the extra things that we've added to the relationship just with her being around. TLC, of course, loved the chaos. The drama made the show trend weekly, with Imani becoming both a villain and a fascination. Viewers couldn't decide whether she was manipulating the system or playing the reality TV game better than anyone else. Ahu, you ready for my life? My old life. We're super ready. This is our first polyamorous relationship, and it's been really, really fun. Behind the scenes, tensions reached a boiling point. Annie started to express doubts about whether she truly belonged in the relationship. Matt appeared exhausted, constantly trying to keep peace between two strong personalities. Meanwhile, Imani defended herself fiercely in interviews, saying their love was real, just different, to bring her to live with us in the U.S. But obviously, we have one tiny bit of an issue, and that is we are legally married. Whether real or staged, the story became unforgettable, and Imani's name was suddenly everywhere. From a high-earning software consultant to one of TLC's most controversial stars, her rise to fame had been anything but ordinary. The cameras started rolling, and the cracks appeared fast. Jealousy, fights, and tears. This throuple was falling apart. On live TV, once the season of Fiancé started airing, things between Imani, Matt, and Annie got intense. Fast. What began as a bold and unusual love story slowly turned into a series of fights, secrets, and emotional chaos. Fans quickly realized this throuple was not built on trust or balance. It was built on jealousy, pride, and a constant struggle for control. Matt is my boyfriend, and Imani is my girlfriend. I working in the strip club in Tijuana. At first, everything looked exciting. Imani seemed proud of being the leader of the relationship. She often made decisions for the group and liked being the center of attention. Annie, on the other hand, was cheerful and soft-spoken, trying to fit in with the family. Matt stayed calm and quiet, doing his best to keep peace between the two women. Sexy, he's and she's. I love them because Imani and Matt accept me with my old past, but the balance didn't last long. As Matt and Annie grew closer, Imani started to feel pushed aside. Viewers could see her mood change from confident to defensive. She didn't like watching Matt give Annie too much attention. Soon, Imani and Annie were arguing more often. Imani said she felt ignored and unappreciated. Annie said she felt controlled and judged. I just have a couple questions. Are we planning on telling your family before we go? Before? No, honey. When Imani found out that Annie wanted to keep their relationship a secret, everything fell apart. She felt blindsided and humiliated, believing that after everything they had risked, Annie was now ashamed of her. In the episode, Imani's calm mask slipped completely. You don't understand. Honey, sorry. I think we're afraid that you can kind of cover up who's important to you. She paced, raised her voice, and accused Annie of using her for a visa and fame. Annie tried to explain that her family in Mexico wouldn't accept the relationship, but Imani didn't want to hear it. Imani broke down in tears, sitting alone on the couch after the fight. Her makeup was smudged, and she kept repeating that she felt betrayed. For once, she didn't look like the strong, confident woman viewers were used to, seeing just someone completely shattered by love and public humiliation. You want this that you want to be with us. Like, do you tell people you're even in a relationship none of your family knows? Does anyone know? The cameras kept rolling as Imani tried to compose herself, but the tears wouldn't stop. She said she had given up her marriage, her privacy, and her peace for this relationship only to feel invisible. Then came the ultimate betrayal, a secret meeting, hidden texts, and a broken trust that changed everything. Viewers were absolutely shocked. Halfway through the season, a shocking secret completely changed how fans saw Imani and Matt. The scene was filmed showing Imani and Matt sitting with Ree at a cafe, calmly asking questions about Annie's old relationships and rumored money problems. It looked more like an interrogation than a conversation. So, I've been texting Ree like her ex-boyfriend. Yeah, what's going on? Well, he's in Mexico. I want us to meet him. When the episode aired, fans were furious. Many said it was the biggest betrayal of the season, and he found out soon after, and her reaction was heartbreaking. She looked completely blindsided, demanding to know why they would go behind her back. The tension exploded into one of the most dramatic confrontations of the entire show. Ray is one of Annie's exes. He's the most recent ex. They were together for a year. I know that he's an American. Imani admitted that she had been texting Ray even before the meeting. She said she wanted to protect her family and avoid being taken advantage of, but viewers didn't believe her explanation. To them, it wasn't protection, it was paranoia. Even Matt seemed uncomfortable, realizing how badly things had spiraled. We found out about him recently because we've been sending her money through the course of the relationship through this bank account that they opened when they were like dating. But I always wondered, why do we have to send money through this? From that moment, everything between Imani and Annie changed. Annie pulled away emotionally and her cheerful energy disappeared. During group scenes, she became quiet and distant, often avoiding eye contact. The spark that once drew them together was gone. So, we're gonna go meet up with him, me, and you. Yeah, she's not going to be there. Of course not. That's the point. I needed to close that chapter before I go to Guadalajara and meet her family. Otherwise, I'm going to be thinking about Ray in the back of my head. By the final episodes, the tension was impossible to ignore. Annie no longer wanted to film intimate moments or talk about their future. When the season ended, she began posting short clips on social media about self-worth, forgiveness, and walking away from toxic love. Without on, I don't want her to influence his answer or anything like that, or to prep him. I don't know if I'll get the truth out of him, but I know I'll get another version. The tell-all was supposed to clear things up. Instead, one confession dropped a bomb that left everyone speechless. Nothing made sense anymore. The biggest shock of the entire season came during the day. Fiancé tell-all special. The reunion was supposed to clear the air, but instead, it revealed just how fractured Imani, Matt, and Unnie's relationship had become. As the cast and host revisited every major conflict from the season, the energy in the room was tense. Imani sat straight and composed while Annie looked nervous, barely making eye contact. Matt seemed caught in the middle, glancing between them as if waiting for the next explosion. Rules have changed. Initially, we're doing everything together. So that was the first time I felt a little bit of jealousy because it was more about not being considered, and we were like, okay, let's set up the rules, and the rules are like. Then came the moment that no one saw coming. The host brought up the topic of intimacy, asking how the three managed their romantic dynamic as a throuple. For a few seconds, there was silence. The question seemed to hang in the air, heavy and uncomfortable. That's when Imani calmly revealed that she and Annie had never been intimate, one-on-one. The audience gasped. Even the other cast members looked stunned. The confession changed everything. Fans who had followed the couple's story from the start suddenly saw the entire relationship in a new light. Viewers flooded social media, asking if the throuple had ever been real at all. To many, it now seemed more like an act than a genuine connection. Some believed Imani had entered the relationship for attention, while others thought she was using Annie as a way to control Matt or maintain power in their marriage. Do the permission anymore. So they don't ask permission anymore. In fact, it's even more developed now. They spend quality time together and they have sex without me a lot. Yeah, the discussion grew more heated As the host pressed for answers, Annie avoided, responding while Matt tried to soften the blow by saying their bond wasn't just physical but emotional. Still, the damage was done. The reveal made Imani look calculated and distant, while Annie appeared trapped in a story that no longer made sense. By the end of the tell-all, the tone of the conversation had shifted entirely. What once looked like a daring exploration of modern love now felt like a scripted experiment gone wrong. Fans online called it one of the wildest and most confusing moments in Fiancé history. The supposed love triangle that had once fascinated audiences was now seen as a performance. Imani's calm composure, once viewed as strength, was now read as cold. Detachment, what was meant to be a bold relationship statement, had turned into a lesson on how easily reality TV can blur the line between real emotion and pure performance. Still haven't had sex. Just me and her. Just so you know. What? Only been the three of us or just her? And him? Wait, what? That's so bad. Outside of the main relationship, the reactions from family and friends made things even more complicated. Imani's family was never comfortable with the idea of a throuple. Her mother, in particular, looked worried every time she appeared on screen. She wanted her daughter to find happiness, but didn't believe this setup would end well. After all the hate and backlash, Imani finally broke her silence. Her goodbye message blamed everyone but herself. Fans weren't buying it. After the season ended, Imani shocked fans by announcing that she was cutting ties with TLC. Her decision came after weeks of backlash, leaked behind-the-scenes clips, and intense online criticism. In a long post, she said she felt used by production and accused the network of twisting her story to make her look like the villain. According to Imani, many emotional scenes were edited out of context to highlight her worst moments, especially the fights with Annie and the tell-all reveal. She claimed producers encouraged her to lean into jealousy to make better TV, and that she had trusted them too much. The constant hate online, including threats and harassment, reportedly pushed her to step back from reality television altogether. Fans were divided. Some agreed that TLC often exaggerates drama for ratings, while others said Imani was simply trying to escape accountability for her behavior. Whatever the truth, her exit marked the end of one of the show's most talked about arcs. Imani said she wanted to focus on rebuilding her mental health, working on personal projects, and stepping away from the chaos of public life. Though critics doubted she'd stay out of the spotlight for long, the internet had no mercy. Thousands of comments flooded in, and they weren't holding back. The verdict was brutal and crystal clear. One viewer summed up what many were thinking, saying, "To me, it just shows me how Imani sees Annie. There is no love there, just some fun." That single comment captured the mood. Online, people felt the relationship was never built on love, just control and appearance. Another fan agreed, adding, "I totally agree." For her to keep saying, "I love you so much," after such a pointed comment was eye-opening, like, "No, you don't." This response reflected the frustration viewers felt watching Imani say one thing, but act another way. Her calm attitude during emotional moments came across as cold and manipulative rather than mature. The backlash only grew stronger when fans brought up Imani's controversial comment during an earlier episode. One viewer wrote, "Really irked me this episode with, 'You can't make a housewife' comment. I feel like it was a judgmental attack on their girlfriend's occupation. Be mad and insecure, sure, but don't say some backhanded nonsense like that when y'all met her at the __ strip club.' Many felt Imani's jealousy and insecurity had turned toxic. Imani is coming off very toxic. Not a fan of Matt, but I feel like he has been beat down so much and he gets to chill with Annie. When they amplified Imani's crying and didn't run to her, made me laugh. Then Annie is like, 'Fine, I'll do what you want.' And Imani immediately dried. Let's go." Others believed the couple had taken advantage of Annie's situation. It almost feels like they went shopping for a girlfriend who's in a vulnerable situation as a sex worker living in poor circumstances. And now they, especially Imani, act like they own her. I'm not against throuples, but this one doesn't feel genuine. One viewer put it harshly, but honestly, she wants a play toy, not another spouse. It's so gross. And then she got so mad when Annie didn't grovel for her tantrum, abusive piece of __. And finally, another summed up the general sentiment perfectly. Imani keeps saying why she's jealous clearly, and then goes and says that she doesn't want to be jealous, but I think she's Dulu and can't recognize how she's actually feeling about the situation and just need to end it. Imani's story was bold, messy, and unforgettable, but it also became a warning about how fast fame can flip from tech success to reality TV chaos. Her journey showed that not all attention is worth the cost. If you found her downfall wild, stay tuned.